So one of the big stories that I saw when I was scrolling through everything this morning was this story about a Space Force commander who was basically ousted from his command because he basically is outing Marxism in the military. Wow. What a whistleblower. He is so right. This is Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer. He is the commander of the 11th Space Warning Squadron at Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado, and he was actually relieved from his post Friday. He was relieved from his post by Lieutenant General Stephen Whiting. He is the head of Space Operations Command. Whiting basically said the branch had lost confidence in Lohmeyer's ability to lead. Whatever. Lohmeyer is a fighter. He is telling the truth. He wrote a book right now. It's called Irresistible Revolution, Marxism's Goal of Conquest and the Unmaking of the American Military. He paints a drastically different picture of the military than what we think and suggests that it's been politicized and that the Marxification has changed the military completely. We've seen this. I want to play you a clip. This is going to blow your mind. I don't know if you heard this, but this was Lloyd Austin, defense secretary. This is a clip of his where Lloyd Austin is basically asking for other military members to turn in military colleagues or members that they believe to be extremists in the military. And when he's talking about extremists, he's really talking about one extremism, and it's just white supremacy, because I don't hear anything else in here. Listen to this.
Concerns me to think that anyone wearing the uniform of a soldier or a sailor, an airman, marine, or guardian, or Coast Guardsman would espouse these sorts of beliefs, let alone act on them. But they do. Some of them still do. We've got to be better than that. And not just for ourselves and the sort of work environment that we want to cultivate for each other, but also for the country and the very idea of what the United States represents to the world. And that's the discussion that I want you to have today. I want you to revisit the oath that you took when you joined the military and when you re-enlisted or got promoted. Read those words again. Consider what they really mean. And think about the promise that you made to yourselves and to your teammates and to your fellow citizens. I also want you to share with your leadership your own personal experiences with encountering extremists and extremist ideology in the military, should you have any. And I want your leadership to listen to those stories.
You guys, there is something seriously wrong with the way our military is being handled, with this push to divide each one of us, talking about extremism in the military like it's just spilling over, like we've got extremists everywhere. That is not the case. It is not a lie. And by the way, he never actually defines what extremism actually is. What is he talking about? What kind of extremism? What have we been seeing in the military? I want you to think about what happened with Tucker Carlson. A colleague, Fox News, does some really phenomenal monologues that get people really thinking about what's happening in our country. You may not always agree with him, but he really did get people thinking about this. And Tucker Carlson, he was talking about, the Department of Defense, right? And he was criticizing the military's, all of these crazy things that the military is doing. Like, instead of worrying so much about protecting our nation, they're worried about diversification, wokeification, and what this guy is saying is actually embedded Marxification in our military. And he was, oh my goodness, he was shredded by this Defense Department person who was just like, saying that Tucker Carlson was out of control and that there was a crucial gap, between what Tucker Carlson was saying and what the military was actually doing. And he called Tucker everything in the world. But the reality is, folks, is that people in our military right now know that there is this growing divide, this feeling that what they're there for is no longer, to defend the country, but they're playing some kind of political role, some kind of slow dance with this new social wokeism that is changing everything about our nation, everything about us. Now it has to be sexual integration in all the branches and all the roles and war fighters. Nobody can say anything that'll offend anybody else. Everybody's walking on eggshells. Everybody's afraid. They're afraid. They don't even know what pronouns to use. At the Pentagon, they're like, They're like, I don't even know. Don't even talk to me about that. I don't want to. And accidentally use the wrong pronoun and I'm going to get, demoted. And I just say we have to be a society where we're willing to listen. We have to be a society where we are willing to not demote people for speaking out and telling the truth, or for at least saying what they're feeling, but listen to them and see what is it that they're saying. Is there something going on here? Is there a Marxification of our military? Should we really be looking at that? I'm buying his book for one. Go get it on Amazon. I'm getting his book.